Here are 101 facts about Lockheed SR-71, also called the Blackbird. Number 1. The SR-71 was intentionally designed to leak fuel on the ground. Engineers couldn't create seals that would survive the extreme temperature swings from -70 degrees at altitude to over 500 degrees during flight, so they made the fuel tanks leak on purpose. Number 2. It took 2 Buick V8 engines from a Wildcat car to start each SR-71 engine. The J58 engines were so massive they needed their own specialized start cart called the AG330, basically a mobile hot rod under the hood. Number 3. The titanium skin was so thin in places that you could dent it with your thumb when the aircraft was cold. But at Mach 3, thermal expansion made it rigid as steel armor. Number 4. The USAF could fly each SR-71 on average once per week because of the extended turnaround required after mission recovery. 1 week to prep for a few hours of flight time. Number 5. The SR-71 cost about $200,000 per hour to operate. The fuel alone cost $18,000 per hour. That's roughly $500,000 per hour in today's money. Number 6. The aircraft actually grew 3 to 4 inches longer during flight due to thermal expansion. Pilots had to account for this when planning runway approaches. Number 7. The Blackbird's tires, manufactured by B.F. Goodrich, contained aluminum and were inflated with nitrogen. They cost $2,300 each and generally required replacing within 20 missions. Each tire cost more than most people's cars. Number 8. Swedish Viggen fighters claimed to achieve radar lock on SR-71s 51 times out of 322 intercept attempts, but only by predicting exactly where the Blackbird would fly and timing their approach perfectly. Number 9. On 29 June 1987, an SR-71 was on a mission around the Baltic Sea to spy on Soviet postings when one of the engines exploded. The crew made an emergency landing in Sweden, and the Swedish pilots who intercepted them received U.S. Air Medals 31 years later. Number 10. The special JP-7 fuel was so stable that you could literally drop a lit match into it and the match would go out. It required a chemical ignition system using triethylborane to light. Number 11. The quartz glass in the cockpit was 1.25 inches thick and was hot to the touch from the inside. Pilots, even with gloves on, couldn't keep their hands by the glass for more than a few seconds without doing damage. Number 12. CIA front companies secretly bought titanium from the Soviet Union to build the very spy plane that would surveil them. The Soviets were literally supplying the materials for their own surveillance. Number 13. At Mach 3.2, the Blackbird's cruise speed, the engine provided only 20% of the thrust. The remaining 80% was generated by the air inlets. The engines were basically elaborate air compressors at top speed. Number 14. The movable engine spikes traveled 26 inches during flight, retracting about 1.6 inches for every 0.1 Mach increase above Mach 1.6. Number 15. Martha Bonemeyer became the first female SR-71 crew member in 1991, flying with NASA during the aircraft's final operational phase. Number 16. The North Vietnamese fired approximately 800 SAMs at SR-71s, none of which managed to score a hit. The standard evasive maneuver was simply to accelerate. Number 17. Standard tools couldn't be used during construction because steel tools would contaminate the titanium. Every single tool had to be specially made from titanium, quadrupling construction costs. Number 18. The SR-71 was equipped with a sensor that locked onto stars in space and relayed that information back down to Earth in order to give an updated location. It guaranteed a correct positional read within 300 feet while the plane was traveling 2,200 miles per hour. Number 19. The corrugated wing panels that aerodynamicists initially mocked as a Mach 3 version of the Ford Trimeter were actually brilliant engineering that prevented the skin from splitting under thermal stress. Number 20. You can tell how long an SR-71 has been in a museum by the wet streaks on the underside and the number of pans underneath it to catch any drops of fuel. Newly donated SR-71s, like the one at Udvar Hazy, leak fuel like a sieve, but older examples that have been in a collection for 20 years are bone dry. Number 21. When approaching the maximum fuel load of 80,000 pounds, which is equal to around 36,000 kilograms, the left engine had to be run with minimum afterburner to maintain probe contact during aerial refueling. Number 22. The fuel wasn't just for propulsion, it was the aircraft's primary coolant system, circulating through heat exchangers to cool avionics, hydraulics, and cockpit systems before being burned. Number 23. The Cold War really ramped up in the 1960s, and the United States needed a complement to the U-2. Afraid of the public finding out about the Blackbird and a subsequent leak, the CIA, Lockheed, and the U.S. Air Force designed and built the SR-71 in secrecy. Number 24. Each SR-71 required a ground crew of approximately 100 people for pre-flight preparation, earning the nickname 100-to-1 among maintenance crews. Number 25. The nickname Habu came from Okinawan locals who thought the aircraft resembled a venomous pit viper native to the Ryukyu Islands. Number 26. Two starting methods were used during the life of the A-12, YF-12, and SR-71 aircraft. An AG-330 starter cart with two Buick V8 engines driving a common output shaft, or compressed air driving a small starter adapter. Number 27. On its last flight, March 6, 1990, Lieutenant Colonel Ed Yielding and Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Vida set a speed record by flying from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. in 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 20 seconds, averaging 3,418 kilometers per hour. Number 28. The engine inlet shock cones moved automatically based on Mach number, but pilots could override the system manually if needed for emergency situations. Number 29. The temperature of the exterior of the windscreen could reach 600 degrees during a mission, making the cockpit feel like flying inside an oven. Number 30. Soviet MiG-25 interceptors, designed specifically to catch the SR-71, could only sustain Mach 2, 8 for about 5 minutes before their engines would overheat and potentially explode. Number 31. During its career, this aircraft accumulated 2,981 flying hours and flew 942 total sorties, more than any other SR-71, including 257 operational missions. Number 32. The aircraft used cesium-based fuel additives to reduce the visibility of exhaust plumes to radar, though the exhaust trails remained quite visible to the naked eye. Number 33. Including the SR-71C and 2 SR-71B pilot trainers, Lockheed constructed 32 Blackbirds. No two were exactly alike due to continuous improvements during production. Number 34. Well over 100 missiles were shot at the SR-71, but the Blackbird was just too fast, and its jamming technology was too sophisticated for one to ever catch up. The closest a missile ever got was 1.5 miles from an SR-71. Number 35. The aircraft's radar cross-section was about 110 square feet, despite having a wing area of 1,800 square feet. Early stealth technology in action. Number 36. At speeds around Mach 2, 6 bypass tubes moved bleed air from the 4th stage of the compressor to the afterburner section, allowing the engine to act like a ramjet. Number 37. Pilots wore pressure suits similar to spacesuits because above 63,000 feet, atmospheric pressure is so low that blood can boil at normal body temperature. Number 38. 21 July 1967, Jim Watkins and Dave Dempster fly first international sortie in SR-71A when the Astro-Inertial Navigation System fails on a training mission and they accidentally fly into Mexican airspace. Number 39. The aircraft burned approximately 8,000 gallons of fuel per hour at maximum cruise speed. That's about 133 gallons per minute. Number 40. The Air Force needed to build a new tanker, the KC-135Q, just to refuel the SR-71 in flight. The Air Force ordered a fleet of 56 KC-135Qs to support just 32 SR-71s. Number 41, Afterburner was rated for continuous operation at 3,200 degrees, made possible with ceramic coatings on duct liner and flame holders. Number 42, the aircraft's official maximum speed was classified, but it could fly well beyond its published Mach 3.2 limit. Some estimates suggest Mach 3.5 or higher. Number 43, Lieutenant Colonel Burdett Thomas, who has the highest number of hours on the SR-71 Blackbird of any pilot, amassed 1,217.3 hours flying the Blackbird. Number 44, each engine required a 5-minute cooldown period after shutdown to prevent thermal shock damage to the turbine components. Number 45, during the Arab-Israeli War, SR-71s flew missions from bases on the East Coast to the Middle East and back. These missions required the pilots to come down to about 25,000 feet of altitude in order to receive refuel every 2 hours or so. Number 46, the aircraft's skin temperature at Mach 3 ranged from 315 to 480 degrees, with leading edges reaching over 1,000 Fahrenheit. Number 47, before GPS and even more advanced technology, stargazing was a reliable way to determine geographic location. The SR-71's astro-inertial navigation system was nicknamed R2-D2. Number 48. The plane was notorious for being unreliable. Often planes would come back missing rivets or parts or needing some kind of repair, averaging only 1 flight a week during its service. Number 49. The distinctive chined forebody wasn't just for stealth. It also provided lift at high angles of attack and helped with directional stability. Number 50. Very often an aircraft would return with rivets missing, delaminated panels, or other broken parts such as inlets requiring repair or replacement. There were cases of the aircraft not being ready to fly again for a month due to the repairs needed. Number 51. The specialized fuel JP-7 was created by Shell Oil and cost 3 times more than standard aviation fuel of the era. Number 52. Titanium was used for 85% of the structure, with much of the rest being polymer composite materials. This was revolutionary for 1960s aircraft design. Number 53. The aircraft could survey 100,000 square miles of Earth's surface in just 1 hour of flight. Number 54. The SR-71 reached a maximum speed in excess of Mach 3.3 or above 2,500 miles per hour. The SR-71 Blackbird cruising speed was Mach 3.2 or roughly 2,450 miles per hour. Number 55. 12 of the 34 SR-71s produced were lost in accidents due to mechanical failure, tire explosions, even 1 stall as a result of severe weather. None were ever shot down by enemy action. Number 56. The black paint wasn't just for looks, it helped radiate heat away from the airframe and absorbed radar energy as an early stealth feature. Number 57. The Blackbird community was small, and during Burdett's time on the aircraft, there were only 10 pilots on the squadron at any one time. Number 58. Each mission required 19 hours of preparation time, leading crews to compare each takeoff to launching a rocket. Number 59. On July 27 and 28, 1976, an SR-71A set world records by flying at an altitude of approximately 85,000 feet in horizontal flight and a speed of around 2,200 miles per hour over a straight course of around 25 kilometers. Number 60. The inlet spikes weighed several hundred pounds each and were moved by powerful hydraulic actuators. Number 61. By 1970, the SR-71s were averaging 2 sorties per week, and by 1972, they were flying nearly 1 sortie every day over Vietnam. Number 62. The aircraft's internal fuel capacity was 12,219 gallons, but it was rarely filled completely before takeoff for safety reasons. Number 63. Landing speed was roughly 175 miles per hour, and the aircraft deployed a drag parachute to reduce landing roll and brake wear. Number 64. Per year, the SR-71 cost between $200 to $300 million to operate in total program costs. Number 65. The titanium manufacturing process was so specialized that Lockheed had to invent new welding techniques and train workers from scratch. Number 66. When the SR-71 became operational, orbiting reconnaissance satellites had already replaced manned aircraft to gather intelligence from sites deep within Soviet territory. Number 67. Pilots did report that missiles launched without radar guidance and no launch detection had passed as close as 150 yards from the aircraft. Number 68. The cockpit featured a peripheral vision horizon display that projected a barely visible artificial horizon line across the entire instrument panel. Number 69. While the SR-71A received the most flight hours overall, the SR-71B flew the most hours of any individual Blackbird, reaching 3,967.5 hours total. Number 70. An SR-71 was used domestically in 1971 to assist the FBI in their manhunt for the skyjacker D.B. Cooper, though low visibility prevented successful photography. Number 71. The aircraft required liquid nitrogen to fill fuel tank spaces as fuel burned off, preventing explosive vapor buildup and structural collapse. Number 72. The JP-7 fuel reaches temperatures well over 300 degrees during Mach 3 cruise, making it extremely volatile without proper pressure management. Number 73. The outer windscreen of the cockpit was made of 3 layers of glass with cooling sections between them. Number 74. Specialized KC-135Q tankers were required to refuel the SR-71. The KC-135Q had a modified high-speed boom, which would allow refueling of the Blackbird at near the tanker's maximum airspeed. Number 75. Each SR-71 engine consumed approximately 36,000 to 44,000 pounds of fuel per hour in full afterburner. Number 76. Friction at high altitude and high speed heats up the airframe. Many parts of the SR-71 reached from 400 to 500 degrees, but the airframe above the engines reached over 1,000 degrees. Number 77. The program's total cost was approximately $34 billion in today's money, making it one of the most expensive aircraft programs per unit ever built. Number 78. NASA operated the 2 last airworthy Blackbirds until 1999, using them for atmospheric research and experimental flight testing. Number 79. Eventually, 3 variants were created from the A-12. The first, named YF-21, was an interceptor plane. The second variant, called M-21, was designed as a drone carrier. The third variant was the SR-71. Number 80. The aircraft's navigation computer was so advanced for its time that it could calculate position updates in real time while traveling at Mach 3. Number 81. 1987. Kadena-based crews flew several missions over the Persian Gulf that revealed Iranian Silkworm missile batteries that threatened commercial shipping and American escort vessels. Number 82. The ANS navigation window was made of solid quartz and was fused ultrasonically to the titanium frame. Number 83. Each pilot required approximately 18 months of specialized training before being certified to fly operational missions. Number 84. The fewest flight hours recorded came from the SR-71A, which only reached 64.4 hours before being retired. Number 85. The aircraft's turning radius at cruise speed was approximately 100 miles due to its incredible velocity. Number 86. View of J-58 engine shows some features required for flight at Mach 3.2 titanium inlet guide vanes and first-stage compressor blades for lighter weight at high ram temperatures. Number 87. Only one crew member, Jim Zweyer, a Lockheed flight test reconnaissance and navigation systems specialist, was killed in a flight accident throughout the entire program. Number 88. The distinctive Coke bottle fuselage shape was designed to minimize supersonic drag according to the area rule aerodynamic principle. Number 89. In 1982, when the U.S. Air Force based 2 aircraft at Royal Air Force Base Mildenhall to fly monitoring mission in Eastern Europe. Number 90. Each set of landing gear tires cost more than a luxury car and would often blow out during landing due to the extreme speeds and weight. Number 91. The fuel was the only heat sink available to the aircraft, and after absorbing 40,000 thermal unit per minute, keeping everything cool enough from the crew to the exhaust nozzle area indicator, it was supplied to the fuel nozzles at 600 degree. Number 92. The program operated under such tight security that even family members of crew and ground personnel had no idea what their loved ones were working on. Number 93. From the beginning of the Blackbird's reconnaissance missions over North Vietnam and Laos in 1968, the SR-71s averaged approximately one sortie a week for nearly 2 years. Number 94. The SR-71 was the second operational aircraft after the Lockheed A-12, designed to be hard to spot on radar. Number 95. Each engine's afterburner created flames extending up to 20 feet behind the aircraft during maximum power settings. Number 96. The first SR-71 flew on December 22, 1964, with Lockheed test pilot Robert J. Bob Gilliland at the controls. Number 97. The missions to Murmansk were the most rewarding. They had SA-5s up there, which made it more interesting. And, of course, the Soviet Union was very unpredictable on what they might do. Number 98. The aircraft's operational ceiling was officially listed as 85,000 feet, but it could fly considerably higher when needed. Number 99. 22 November 1989, USAF SR-71 program officially terminated, ending one of aviation's most remarkable chapters. Number 100. The final SR-71 flight was made by SR-71A on October 9, 1999 at the Edwards AFB Open House Air Show. Number 101. Despite being retired for over 25 years, the SR-71 Blackbird still holds the world record as the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft ever built, a testament to the incredible engineering that was decades ahead of its time.